So what's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. I have my boy Reese, Funeral Man from Torture Talk, King of the North, back again. Tonight we're going to talk about clout chasing. Yeah, you can play the play the horn.
Go ahead.
The sound effects. But anyway, yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about clout chasing. A lot has come up in the media of late, hip hop media, about clout chasing antics, primarily behind Pusha T and his last verse on So Be It about Travis Scott. A lot of people are talking about, oh, here he goes again, clout chasing for attention, for beef. He reaching for beef, blah, blah, blah. When in the end of the day, there's a whole lot behind that. A whole lot behind that. Basically a beef that's been going on for 20 years behind that Travis Scott stepped right into. But people not doing the research and they automatically going to clout chasing. So we're going to have a good discussion about that tonight. We're going to call out some hypocrisy that I see with the clout chasing with some other name artists. And we're going to start looking at this video from Rory and Mal, but also a video that was done by Never Give Up on his take on the whole clout chasing with Pusha T and Travis. But real quick, Reese, what's your thought overall, just clout chasing in general? Like, do you think that's being too overused a term now in hip hop?
I think that I definitely think that clout chasing is one of those terms that's overused. I'll be honest with you, I don't see none of these artists as clout chasing anymore. I think it's just a marketing ploy for most of them nowadays. I don't think Pusha T needs to clout chase. I don't think most of these artists don't need the clout chase. I think that they have a significant fan base already, and the fan base is already with them automatically. To me, clout chasing would be you dissing somebody you're not really known and you're dissing somebody that's known. That to me is clout chasing. I don't think that somebody like Drake I could say is a clout chaser. At this point, he's did everything. You know what I'm saying? But if it was somebody like, I don't know, let's say Inspect the Deck diss Drake, that's clout chasing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would consider, not to throw Inspect the Deck under the bus, but that's what I would consider clout chasing. Somebody that's not relevant, that hasn't done nothing for a long time, and then all of a sudden he's out of here trying to diss rappers.
Well, I find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe legacy artists are clout chasers. But if you want to go with that narrative, we could take a look at it. But at the same time, I don't know about the name artists and the artists that are big are not clout chasers. I actually think they're ones that are more prone to clout chase more than the lesser known artists. But I'll get to that a little bit later because I'll bring up some examples. But anyway, let's get to the video. Let's start with this breakdown of Rory and Mal on the Travis Scott and Pusha T beef, and also the take from Never Give Up, courtesy of Never Give Up. And let's get started. Let's do that.
Because I don't want Pusha to fall into this box to where it looks like beef or issues are part of his rollout for his album.
See, but to me, that
I don't want it to fall into that, is all. Because even with this Travis, right? I see more people talking about him dissing Travis than the song or the video being as dope as it is.
But
Drake. All right, let's see what Rory and Mal had to say about Pusha T going at Travis Scott. Make sure y'all like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
Said he thought it was nasty when Travis was hyping up like that, which we all saw and we covered on this podcast. Everyone saw that clip. We thought it was weird too. Like, it's your man. It's like, what the fuck? And Pusha saying, you're not even a rapper, so why you hyping up beef? You claim to be neutral and play, like, be on both sides, but now you hyping up the Like That record, which is honestly dissing somebody Push hates. So I give Push the credit on that. Like, you look goofy doing that too.
Mhm.
And then you look goofy coming in the studio playing some shit that.
Okay, I want to stop it right there before we get to the next part. But I just want to stop it right there because just to rehash the points of the overall beef with Travis Scott. I mean, why can't it be you just calling somebody out for being fake? Because let's be honest with this whole Travis Scott thing. Drake did a diss record which was real corny, talking about I bought Pharrell's chains and melted them down to show up Pharrell because he's Pusha T's boss, almost like he wanted to get some sort of mini flex on Pusha T, like I got something on you, ha ha ha. And Travis Scott played the song without the verse, barging into a session, knowing that, I'm not gonna say knowing, but just from the reports, Pusha T and the Clipse really weren't feeling Travis Scott from the beginning. So they barge in, play the song for Pharrell to get Pharrell excited, and then came to diss Pharrell with Drake on there. Not to mention that Pharrell did music and produced tracks for Travis Scott on that album. So how is that not fake behavior? I gotta understand this.
Well, that's definitely fake because the song was produced by Pharrell.
That's right.
So he produced the track that you came to the studio, and because see, I understand Push's gripe with Travis. His whole thing with Travis is Travis Scott, like he came in with Utopia in a suitcase, and it's like some top secret thing. He had some guy with him that had, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was basically saying like this guy is not he's not a real rapper. He's something. He's just a science project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand exactly how he felt because he's like, you coming into the studio, you barge into us, and then on top of that, you play the record. But when you play the record, you don't even have the verse on there, and you don't even tell the guy who produced the verse that Drake is dissing him on the song that he produced.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, why can't you call that out? I mean, I just don't understand how that's trying to get attention for dissing him or by dissing him.
I think it's because I think the reason why that is, and the reason why they're saying this, I don't agree with it, but I think the reason why they're saying it is because it's been so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're saying. Like, well, why are you bringing it up now? That's what I think they're saying. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
But
why didn't you just diss it when Meltdown came out? Maybe a little bit of a point with that. Maybe a little bit of a point. But well, let's just go on. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's go on. Hold on.
Is gonna diss this guy the next week, even though we know that I think Drake did that record like the night before. But you're not gonna step in like, no, I was just with Pharrell. Like, don't do that on my record.
Yeah, because we've seen
like
artists do that before,
people,
where they be like, nah, I can't. Like, come on, that's my man. I can't put that verse on my album.
And we can't be hypocrites because when Drake put out Push-Ups and was throwing shots at Future, I understood it. Future didn't diss Drake on like that, but you sitting there harmonizing with somebody that is.
Yeah,
like yeah. So yeah, I think Drake had every right to do that. So that's where I do feel Push on this entire thing. Like,
yeah, I'm not mad at what Pusha is saying. I'm not mad at his stance on things. Obviously, I understand it. Like, you know, these are rappers. We're talking about Travis is not a rapper. He's not about to bar nobody down. He makes, you know, big songs and things like that. Has a great live performance. But, you know, rappers, this was Pusha's talking about, the rappers, the guys that really can construct these bars and really, you know, go at each other. Like, you know, I could see him feeling the way. I just don't want, because I kind of feel like, now I like the fact that Pusha's addressing shit on wax. Let me put that out there.
And first of all,
I would rather him be addressing it on wax than to be going live. The corny shit, like some rappers do go live, start tweeting. Like,
by the way, that stuff is fine if you're also rapping.
If you're rapping, if you put it in the music, cool. But if you're not putting the music in, you just addressing your issues with rappers on podcasts or on IG Live, or it's like, come on, bro, get in the booth. So I salute Pusha for getting in the booth and airing shit out and, you know, expressing his feelings. That's what this is about. That's what hip hop is for. It's to get your shit off, talk your shit. If you got something to say it, stand on it. So I respect Pusha.
I gotta stop it right there. And speaking about the podcast, going on podcasts and IG lives, we know somebody else who likes to do that and talk about legendary rappers, if you know what I mean. But
all the time.
Need I digress?
But I want to say something I already said about the whole. And it might a lot of people might think that that's an equivalent of Kendrick jumping on the track with it. No, it's not an equivalent in my opinion, because number one, Future and Drake has an issue. Or if you listen to We Don't Trust You, Future is dissing Drake on that album. This is not something where he doesn't know. And I think that they knew that Kendrick was going to do what he did. They had to. They heard the song before they put it out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's the same as Travis Scott being cool with Pharrell producing the track and then he having Drake diss him on the song and he puts it out. That's not the same, in my opinion. I know that's probably not a big point.
I think Travis got exposed for being a fake young guy, a fake young and, you know, of another generation. You know what I mean? Because Pusha, Kendrick Lamar, they come from the golden age of hip hop. Travis Scott is part of the turn up, harmonized, new school age. And they look at it like they the type of dudes, you know what this analogy is? They the type of dudes where it's like if they boys with you and you get done messing with this girl or whatever, and maybe y'all weren't too serious, but maybe you was like just kind of seeing each other, kind of hooking up, and you get done with her, he goes and says, "Oh, can I hook up with her now?" and thinks it's cool. You know, you get that analogy? Like that's the kind of dude. That's how they move in this generation, and I don't think Travis Scott understands that.
I honestly think Travis Scott. I think Travis Scott don't. I think he doesn't. He looks and don't get me wrong. Travis Scott he's bigger than a lot of people. He's probably one of the biggest artists. Outside of Drake, he's big.
And I think like
his issue is,
he does make good music.
No, I like Travis Scott. I think he's really good. Yeah, but I think Travis Scott is starstruck by a lot of these artists. Even though he's bigger than most of these, a good portion of them, I think he's starstruck. And I think especially like somebody like Drake, working with him, you seen the video of him jumping up and down, like he was excited because I think he realized he's big, but I don't think he has that confidence like Drake, like Pusha, like Kendrick. I don't think he has that.
Yeah.
So I think when he did the song with Drake, he probably didn't even care because he looked at it like, well, they not. It's just music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I got a feature with Drake. That's how I think he looked at it. Like,
I agree with that. So let's go on real quick.
For that, my thing is, I don't want Pusha to fall into this box to where it looks like beef or issues are part of his rollout for his album.
See, but to me, that
I don't want it to fall into that. Is all because even with this Travis shit, right? I see more people talking about him dissing Travis than the song or the video being as dope as it is.
But that's how it's always going to go.
Yeah,
no
but
matter what.
I don't like.
But there's also a large community, I feel, on the timeline that are just talking about how great Ace Trumpets is and Also Beat is, and how excited they are about this album, how great the rollout has been. But to say that would push, like, when was, Lord willing, when was the first Clipse album?
2000.
Like,
something like that, 2003 maybe.
Yeah, 2002.
Damn.
For the last
Yeah, you was a
23
jit.
years?
You was a jit.
Go a little bit.
ended up replying, and then we went down that rabbit hole. But I wouldn't say that was the main focus of his rollout. It's almost dry. I guess there was a few shots here and there, but I didn't think the rollout at all was around that. Matter of fact, the Daytona rollout was the Kanye 7-track shit. Like, nobody was even really thinking about beef for that. They were excited for what Kanye was marketing.
No. I'm not saying.
I'm saying
this is
the
something
box,
that Push has always done.
but I see a lot of people saying that, like, oh, here goes Push again doing the clout chasey shit to get attention. I'm like, dog, since 2002, he's done this like once or twice.
Yeah, and I want to address that too, man. Like, see, now this is the thing. They're trying to say, well, now Pusha is being typecast as a beef artist or needing beef to sell. And I never got that impression. Like, and even if it is or seems that way, it's like, so what? Hip hop is about competition. You know what I mean? And if he's got something to say, I want to hear what he got to say. I think it's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why Maul is going so hard. Well, he puts out such good music. I don't want to be ruined by clout chasing or clout chasing beef. So what? 50 Cent did that. And he put out one of the greatest albums of all time. So I'm trying to see, well, what's the problem with it?
Yeah, I don't understand that argument either. Like, first they say they want competition, they want people to speak how they feel and talk their shit and address things.
Yeah.
And then when somebody do it, then all of a sudden now you don't want them to do it as clout chasing. But I could almost guarantee you, if he would, I'll put it to you like this: he didn't say that about Joey Badass.
I was going to bring that up
Joey
later.
Badass.
And I want to bring that up with Never Give Up when he gives his commentary on this, because I do you one better though. I mean, I guarantee you Maul's not going to say that about Drake on Iceman if he just airs out of his feelings about anybody on there. And even if Drake calls out people that he ain't even beefing with, I guarantee you Maul's going to big it up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it's like, what are we doing here? Are we picking and choosing now? Like, and do you really care if Pusha gets typecast as this bully beef artist? I mean, it's competition, and the dude is a lyrical monster. You know what I mean? I look at it like, go ahead and if he calls that out, defend yourself, compete against him. Don't run. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. They don't believe in Travis Scott enough to where it looks like it's bullying in a way. That's how they look at it.
Thing. Like we got to stop this. Like, feel sorry for Travis Scott because he's a turn up. He's a melody artist. No, he's not. He could rap. Like, he's got bars. I heard him have bars on Utopia. I listen to all the Travis Scott music. He could rap if he wants to rap. You feel what I'm saying? Like, stop it. And he could probably make a hot song similar to, and I'm not going to say he's going to do this, but if he was to go back at Pusha T, he could probably make a hot song similar to like maybe what MGK did with Eminem. That was a dope song, even though Eminem won that, but it made it interesting. You see what I'm saying? So what's wrong with that?
Definitely nothing wrong with it.
Shit crazy, man. But anyway, let's keep going.
No. Really a Push thing per se. And some of our favorite rappers, shit, 50's rollout was punching down on every album.
I mean, but you can't. 50 is
Hove did it. Like, this is hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
but that's
it's just this new generation that thinks it's corny to make dissing other rappers part of a rollout when it's been that way since 1988. Like,
no, it's listen, beef in hip hop has always been the first hip hop record might have been a diss record. To really go back and listen.
And I'm glad Rory stepped up and said that. You know what I mean? Because 50 punched down, Jay punched down. Nobody said nothing about that. But it's definitely a generational thing, man. It's definitely these young hip hop fans it's only like the young heads that are coming out with this clout chasing narrative when it's talking about artists that they like. So I definitely see that coming. But I don't know what your take on it is.
No, I definitely think that when it comes to that, like a lot of these people are just sensitive, and I think that people like Maul, he picks and chooses who he wants to say this. Now, obviously, this somehow is connected, and I think he got an interview with Pusha T. I think they got
Maul got an
an
interview with Pusha T. I didn't see that.
I believe so. I believe they got an interview with him, and he talks about this whole thing. I think it's recent. I'm not sure if it's old or not, but I believe he do got an interview with Pusha T. And in fact, I know he got an interview with Pusha T. But again, I think he respects Pusha T. But at the same time, it's still that Drake and Kendrick looming over top. That's why he's saying this. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going. It sounds like he's kind of playing both sides a little bit. More Rory's calling it more for what it is, but anyway, let's keep it
and dissect those bars. They might have been talking about some niggas from up the block, right? So we know that. But
let me guess, you're thinking about going to therapy, and as a therapist myself, of course I'm going to say that's a great idea.
Has great records,
great musician,
one of the best live shows that you probably will see. Pusha on the next project, what is he doing? Is he back to? Is he flaming Travis up on the next album? You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I don't want it to
not even be the next album. You might just get a response record out the gate.
But that's what I'm saying. I just don't want it to fall into that. I love the video is amazing. You know, that's what the Clipse have always done. Has given us great visuals and things like that. So this is right on brand for the Clipse. But yeah, I respect it, man. If you got an issue with somebody in rap.
And I saw a lot of people like, yo, that's corny because like everyone knows Travis doesn't even rap like that.
We just talked about that, but
thinking it would turn into music. That's what
they've done in the past that has been incredible.
I don't think we get a Travis and Drake.
I think Push has been doing this his whole.
Hold on.
Now I understand where Rory is coming from because Rory is thinking that everybody who has something to say about Push doing this right now is trying to say that, oh, they think Push has been doing this his whole career. And even if that is what they think, that's the younger generation. That's people who aren't familiar with Pusha T. And that's okay. I recently did the Joe Budden video, and some of y'all so sassy in the comments. Y'all talking about, I saw one guy write, he said, why is everybody killing you in the comments? And then he came back and edited the comment and said, oh, I see. It's warranted. Like, that was so sassy. You had to come back and edit the comment. But some of y'all don't understand. I come from hip hop. I would have carried crates for Biz Markie. I would have carried crates for Funk Master Flex and Jam Master J. I studied the music. I would have carried crates for Just Blaze. I would have carried crates for Kanye. No shame in my game. I would have carried the crates. I come from Two Dope Boys. I come from hot new hip hop. I come from all of that. I love Pusha T. My Name Is My Name was a fire album. You don't have to school me on Pusha T. But at the same time, the commentary is coming from recent Push. And Push has had a knack or some kind of niche for punching up before he releases some music.
Okay, I gotta stop it there too. But you see how this guy tries to play both sides like that, man? He tried to say, oh, I carry the crates for all the greats. But at the same time, you trying to go and basically say, like, the younger generation, this is the ones that they're calling it out and they're warranted for doing that because they don't do their research. Like, that's why I have my issues with this dude, man. Like, he all over the place, this dude.
No, I feel you on that. I definitely think people sometimes play both sides, and you trying to say that Push is punching up, like,
yeah, that we got to get to that. Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think that y'all have a problem with certain people y'all claim be punching up. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have a problem with punching up, you know, in let's take it back to the golden era. Let's take it back to 2000s or what have you. And Rory brought up 50. Rory brought up Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem. You know what I mean? Do they have a problem with punching down? Like when Eminem and MGK said one slick thing about him, and Eminem just roasted him in a verse, and that prompted MGK to come back with Death of Slim Shady or whatever. So it's like, to me, I look at it like, if you're wearing a crown and you're in that spot, you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to defend yourself. I get it. It's Travis Scott or whatever. But at the same time, it's like he's voicing Pusha T. Pusha T is the one punching up now at Travis Scott when he's not even a rapper. So it's like, what's it going to be here? When Pusha T's got a grievance. He basically did his boss dirty. So it's like, it's almost like they're trying to miscontextualize this whole narrative going on.
No, I definitely think that that's what they're doing. I definitely think that that's what he's doing too. Because I think when it come down to it with hip hop, people can't just let things be the way it is. They have to have some type of narrative to spin. And I think that it can't just be that Pusha T is actually calling him out and actually really have an issue with it. No, he got to do that he's doing it for clout. He clout chasing. There's no way. You don't know he clouting. It's like, bro, like some people I think definitely do be calling people out for something that they do.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but we're gonna finish up real quick because he got a couple more comments.
Punching up meaning going at artists who are bigger than him to sell some records. And yes, it's been done a million times. And yes, Push is not the only person to ever do it. But two things can be true. The music can be fire, because I love So Be It, So Be It. But at the same time, he could also be clout chasing a little bit. Now, I understand the beef. Is Travis fake? Do Travis play industry games? Yes, he does. We've seen it. But at the same time, it's the industry. Everybody plays industry games. And look, Pusha T deals with and does business with fake people on the daily. And that's something else we got to call out. Don't just call out Travis for being fake, because you can't survive or make it in the industry without working with those people. You think Pusha just realized that Kanye was fake a couple of years ago, 5 years ago?
All right. You see what my man going off the deep end now? Like, come on. Like, so he's got to be. Yeah.
Another thing too that I think I noticed that a lot of these dudes do is they don't ask legitimate questions, like logical questions. How else Pusha T supposed to address this without doing it on the album? You want him to address it in fighting in person? You want him to beat him up? If he addressed it in an interview, you would have said, well, why you just didn't put it in the song? Now he puts it in the song. Now he's clout chasing. How else is he supposed to address these issues that he have? You're supposed to put it in the song. Actually,
not only that, but this is in line with a GQ interview that Pusha T did a video for, airing out Travis Scott about this entire situation to add context to it. Why aren't you calling out GQ when they're the ones answering the questions? They're asking the questions. So are they trying to, start the clout chase? Are they clout chasing now for Pusha T? And I want to go back to another thing he said. When has Pusha T ever been about record sales? I think the Clipse are legacy artists, right? Clipse might have had a couple gold albums or whatever, maybe a platinum single here and there. They never been an artist that are competing for number one on the charts for to sell 450,000 in the first week. When have the Clipse ever been that guy? So now all of a sudden he's competing for record sales. And I know what artists he is talking about, but those type of artists are the mainstream artists that may do a little clout chasey behavior, if you know what I mean. And I got some examples coming up. So, I mean, this guy, man, he's all over the place, man.
Yeah, I definitely think that when it come down to it, as Pusha T being a legacy artist, this is the way they express themselves. And if he expressed himself this way, if you listen to every one of Pusha T's albums, he addresses everybody that he has a problem with.
Yeah.
Everybody has a problem with. So this ain't nothing new. This ain't something that he just does just to do. No, he's been doing this. He's been doing this. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And he's trying to use the ignorance of young hip hop fans like almost as an excuse for it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he's trying to shoot bail and say, well, what if it is great hip hop? What if it is really good? Two things can be true at the same time. Then, I mean, why don't you just enjoy the music? It's almost like, I almost get the sense that this guy is trying to indirectly bail another artist out and let another artist off the hook, and to make people feel sorry for them that Pusha T is dissing again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's finish this up because he's gonna say something about the young people that I want to get to.
People knew Kanye was crazy about 10 years ago, but nobody said nothing because they was making money off of him. But then when he not profitable anymore, and when it's detrimental to your career to stand next to him, so when he goes off the deep end, now nobody wants to stand next to Kanye, and now he's crazy, and now he's fake. See, y'all not calling Push on that, because that's real and that's true. So now you going.
But wait a minute, Kanye dissed him first in the Twitter.
Yeah, he's talking.
What is he talking about?
He one of those type of niggas that expects you to stand by somebody that actually do you dirty. You're supposed to stand by him. No, him and Kanye had an issue for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He like, I mean, he said some things about Kanye in a joint, but he really didn't diss Kanye yet. Maybe on the album he going to. He did say something about, if you waiting for Kanye and me to get your squeegees out, like y'all gonna be a bunch of bums out here waiting for me and him to get back together. But another thing he said too that I disagree with, he said that Kanye West ain't making money for people. Kanye West is a billionaire.
Yeah,
that's a stupid statement. He might be saying some things that a lot of a certain community don't agree with, but for somehow, some way, some reason, he's still making money.
I think what he's trying to say is that see, this is the thing.
He's trying
to twist the narrative here. He's trying to say that he's distancing himself from Kanye because he's toxic now. He's not the money-making machine he was, 6 years ago when Push was affiliated and president on it. You know what I mean? So it's like Push is now making it, it's almost like convenient for him to kind of kick a man when he's down type of deal, when we know that's not the case. I mean, Kanye said some shit about Pusha. I mean, and it did line up, unfortunately, with the whole, when Kanye was in his, political affiliation phase. He did say some things about him when he was president at Good Music. So I really don't get where my man is going. He's not doing his research on this.
And he didn't step away from him even with that being the case.
Exactly.
They were still talking. It was cool.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it, but
I don't get it, man.
after the rapper that's not a rapper. And I see some of y'all saying, well, Travis don't rap. He make vibes. I didn't say he did. But I'm looking at Push and I'm like, okay, you went at Drake. To me, Drake's diss song, quality-wise, was way better than Story of Your Adidon.
Oh, stop it. All right, I got to stop this guy now. All right, I'm stopping sharing. All right, so all right, let's put this out there. Is this dude? All right, let's put this out there. You know what I got from that? Basically, he just exposed himself. He's secretly rooting for Drake in this. I mean, am I getting this right?
Yeah, he tries to play neutral, but he definitely be on Drake's side.
He tries to cover it up because it's like, bro. I mean, and listen, I get it. You like his new songs, and I know you probably gonna enjoy the new album, but it's like, bro, just call it how you see it. It's like, look, I mean, I'm really haven't gotten over the fact that I still think Duppy Freestyle is better than Story of Adidon. You know, but at least I could live with it, bro. You know, even though you're dead wrong, but hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, he lucky. The Story of Adidon, they lucky that wasn't on streaming platforms. They so lucky. Like, he's lucky. Drake's lucky that wasn't on there.
Oh my god!
Like, it was just a SoundCloud song. He lucky. But anyway,
that was it. But to wrap this up, man, you know what I noticed this is, and really they spoke to it. Both Never Give Up and Rory and Mal. I think this is where you start to see the divide in hip hop, because, and I noticed this during the Drake and Kendrick battle last year. You got your younger hip hop fans that only care about streams, only care about sales if they got bops on TikTok and the radio. And you got your older hip hop fans that like lyrics, artistry, you know, creativity, you know, great albums, classic albums. You know what I mean? You know, awards and songs that stand the test of time. And this is where you have the divide, because I noticed with the younger hip hop fans, it's not about liking the artist for their music. It's liking the artist for them being a brand. And it, no matter what, if you put out a record that's going to affect their brand, they're like, oh no, that's clout chasing. You're not allowed to do that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When we look at it like, all right, well, if the dude did some fake ass shit to his boss that he's been homies with for over 30 years, why not call the dude out? I don't give a fuck if he's a mumble rapper or not. And that's where I think you see the disconnect in all of this.
Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people ain't lining up their position when it comes to this. They're like, people like, to me, like, I think Maul is he's so conflicted when on this situation, because obviously Drake and, let's be clear, Drake and J. Cole started with Kendrick.
That's right.
On first person shoot. I mean, I don't see him saying anything about that. Kendrick wasn't bothering him. He was on his Mr. Morale shit and came out, see what I'm saying, and said some things. And this is what happened. So I don't think Pusha T is doing anything wrong. In my opinion, he's not.
But I mean, to shift gears, all right, so if we're going to talk about clout chasing, then what's Cardi B done? Cardi B done went ahead and finally had a release date for a new album after putting out a diss record on Offset, her ex-husband, after having a very public, in the public relationship with her new boyfriend, NFL star Stephon Diggs, where they're on a party boat, going off on Instagram rants, and on top of that, you know, putting their son in the middle of it, using him as a pawn. So is that not clout chasing for when her album's coming out? But nobody wants to say nothing about it because Cardi B is a brand. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Now, well, it's different. It's different when it comes to women. They can do
Exactly
whatever.
right.
Yeah, clout chasing. What? A woman can never do that.
Oh no.
The name of her album, Am I Drama?
So is that not clout chasing? Come on.
That's the name of her album, Am I Drama? Come on. Like, who are you asking? I don't know. Am I drama?
Now, see, that is clout chasing record sales.
The definition of clout chasing.
Yeah. Because in the end of the day, she knows she needs everything into this album because that album has to sell. You ain't delivered in like 8 years. And you got a classic. Well, I'm not gonna say classic. They call it a female classic. I don't think it's classic. I think it's a dope album. I'll go that far. You got to live up to that pressure. So now you have to stay in the news. When Cardi B, you just drop a feature here, a single here, a feature here. You don't have any albums. This is classic clout chasing. But most of our fans, I would say, are of the younger generation. They don't call it out because Cardi's a brand, and no matter what Cardi does, is fine. You using your husband as an example and your divorce as an example is clout chasing, 100%. Not to, and on top of that, you did a diss record on your ex-husband. Come on.
This is crazy. I didn't even know she did a diss record on Pay Attention to Her.
Oh yeah, the new single got bars against Offset. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He got his new single with JID is fire.
Oh, I got to do a review on that. We got to talk about Jid. That's a guy we have to talk about. He is a problem.
Yeah,
he's definitely a problem. But yeah, that's what I mean. And of course, we just went through the whole Jim Jones thing. I mean, the man blatantly admitted, I'm out here because I want to get my streams up. This is a new business model. Meanwhile, his streams since this weekend are still not over 1 million subscribers a month.
Yeah.
So it looks like your plan backfired, buddy.
He's bugging.
Oh my God, man. But anyway, yeah, it just goes to show. I think this whole clout chasing thing is just a fraud. And I'm glad you brought up Kendrick, because Kendrick got accused of, he's got to make records for Drake or make records to diss Drake when he's had the biggest tour in hip hop history, just about in the last how many years, not to mention the success of GNX. But the thing people fail to realize is Kendrick and Drake been going at it for a long time, and Drake's been sneak dissing him all the way up until All for the Dogs. He did a whole other EP with Conductor Williams or whatever after All for the Dogs, where he had clear bars against Kendrick Lamar. So what is Kendrick supposed to do, especially after First Person Shooter? What, he's just supposed to stand there and let him sneak diss him?
That's what they expect. That's what they expect. They expect some people to just get away with it and other people can't. But they definitely expect that. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments. What is clout chasing today? And do you think that younger hip hop fans use it as an excuse for their favorite rapper to run away from competition? Please let me know. Definitely check this video out. Thanks again, Reese, for joining me today. And we're going to definitely have some other debates coming up in the future. And with that, y'all enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll be back with some new content shortly. All right? Peace. All right, there you go.